Yeah, so I'm gonna be real. I don't know who I'm making this video for. I don't know who's gonna, value this shit or if anyone's gonna get anything from this. But if anyone does, like, I guess that's the whole point. So, I mean, shit, let me know. Let me know if, you get anything from this. So propaganda on social media is making you depressed. I think this applies to mostly people who are online too much, people out in the, that be touching grass. I don't know how much this applies to them, but yeah, if you're on the internet a lot, this propaganda is gonna be messing with your brain. So the content that is being pushed in the algorithm, I think, is all content that is, meant to cause outrage, paranoia, fear. And it's, whether it's fear mongering to the left or whether it's fear mongering to the right, I think a lot of this content that is being pushed is, solely being pushed just because the algorithm is favoring that kind of stuff right now. When you're not informed about a topic that is being talked about, that everyone is kind of like posting about, it's super easy to kind of adopt the opinion that you see everyone else in your like kind of circle, everyone else like that you genuinely like, you trust people around you. It's very easy to adopt the same opinion as them. I think this means if someone starts spreading misinformation, you're gonna have like no guard against it, right? So there's all this outrage content, there's all this stuff that's meant to make you paranoid and mad, and you have no real safeguards against it. If you're not informed about a topic and suddenly everyone's posting about it, your only opinions about the topic are just gonna be mostly just based around your friend circle, the people you're around, what you see, the people that you kind of like trust posting about, and that's not a good thing. This means you're gonna have no way to double check against, you gotta double check every narrative that people are pushing. So I think what kind of happens is, so a lot of issues that we learn about, like on the left, on like the liberal side of things, a lot of these things that we value are pretty simple to understand. You can use basic logic, basic reasoning to figure out, like, you just use your basic human empathy to kind of like reason out these issues, right? There's a lot of these like issues that are easy to understand, like, like treat people equally. Like that is something, we can all agree on the left, and I think we all don't have trouble with that. The trouble comes when it's the issues that aren't simple like that we can't use, or simple, human, like ape brain reasoning, for. That's when the trouble comes. That's when it's topics that, require someone that's informed about something. That's when we run into problems, because that's when it becomes like there's no simple logic, there's no simple reasoning that's built into us that can help us understand the situation quickly. You just need to learn about it. Like that is the baseline. You need to learn about it. So I think that's the problem, and I think that a lot of people rely way too much on that, like, trying to, have their brain like quickly check information. Does this sound good? Does this sound bad? That's not going to be good enough, and you're going to end up believing in a ton of misinformation, disinformation. And so I guess when I say like you need to research these more complicated issues, like a lot of these world conflicts that are happening right now, a lot of these issues that are happening, in our government, a lot of like even things like January 6th, if you don't research stuff like that, January 6th, there's crazy shit about January 6th that most people think January 6th was just like a protest that got too rowdy, right? And there's crazy shit about January 6th that is never even talked about, right? Unless you actually learn about the subject. And once you learn about the subject, you realize how crazy this fucking shit is. And so I guess coming back to my point, so needing to research like all these complicated issues that are happening around you, I think being informed is way more easy than like so many people think. It's like as simple as just like reading news articles. Like that's all you gotta do. Like that's the bare minimum, actually. Like that's what I would tell someone to do, if they wanna like get the bare minimum understanding about a conflict or something that's happened. Just read a news article, because they are held to legal standards. I mean, we're used to seeing opinion pieces on the news, right? We're used to seeing like a lot of like the Tucker Carlsons and shit, right? But like actual like news, like what the actual definition of news, like they are held to legal standards, right? They will get sued if they publish the wrong shit. So I think a lot of these networks end up being very similar in terms of like their standard of having true information. It's honestly, it's less important where you gather the information from. It's more important that you just gather the information in general, I don't think it's actually hard to gather this information or to actually go out and research it yourself. But honestly, I understand. You know, I get it. I get it if you don't want to do this shit, right? I get it. It sounds, you know, so extra, right? I totally get it if you don't want to do this stuff, right? But if you don't want to do it, don't talk about it. Don't talk about anything, right? So I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool if you don't want to do the research. Just please, you will end up spouting that's how you will end up spouting the misinformation, because you will latch on to the popular posts. You will end up absorbing them, and that'll be your entire, you know, worldview will be based off of, you know, popular posts that are, you know, kind of put up in the algorithm by these like fake bot networks. So your worldview is gonna be pretty wacky, I think, if that's what you're doing. So social media sites, the major networks, especially fucking Twitter, but all of them, they currently push the most populist outrage content that does affect both sides of the political spectrum. And that's like what is being boosted up in the algorithm by these fake bot networks. Using social media, you're gonna inevitably see this content. All the time when I'm scrolling on Twitter, I just see the most like fake conspiracy theories, like the dumbest shit ever, and it's just like being pushed all the time, and it's like, you know, 10k likes, and so you're gonna be seeing this no matter what, right? And so I think without a foundation of like that basic research, that basic like kind of understanding, if you're absorbing information about these ideas and you don't have that like foundation behind you, you're gonna slowly or very quickly be influenced to believe the narratives, then whatever narrative, you know, you happen to latch onto. So how did this trend like even get popular? Honestly, I don't fucking know. It's probably some like complex social media issue. I don't know. I can't say why there is so much specific content in the like genre of being like anti-democratic, you know, chaos ensuing, the shit that gives you the paranoia, the shit that makes you depressed. Why is there so much of that specific shit, you know, that specific anti-electoral, you know, content being pushed to you? The answer is Russia. So there's outside players, you know, like Russia. And don't get me wrong, I know there's other nations involved, but I kind of just want to focus on this for today. And it's not the Russian people, it's the Russian government, it's Putin. But, you know, Putin / the Russian government, they're investing lots of money to push populist anti-democratic posts, you know, flooding all of our timelines, you know. Everything we're seeing is, like, influenced by these bot networks. And so the Russian government / Putin has an interest in creating and descending chaos in the US. It's good for them. Why? Why is that true? Putin either needs Trump to win or for there to be fucking a civil war, chaos. I don't fucking know. That's the only way he will win his war. He will lose the war if Trump loses, you know? Trump's his only hope right now. They're betting everything on Trump right now. So that's why they are investing literal billions of dollars into dissenting this information, and it's working. It's doing a crazy job. Like, if you look on Twitter, like the bot networks, they're running rampant on there, and Elon lets it run rampant. Elon fucking is basically, I mean, I don't want to make claims. I don't think he's taking money, but Elon probably fucking looks up to Putin. I don't know what the reason is, but bro's letting them use his site. You know, there's tons of money going into these fake viral posts, and they use bot networks to make them popular and seem real. You know, they like each other's posts, and once one gains a little bit of traction, they all go to that one single post, boost that post up, and then boom, all of a sudden you have a fake post that was just completely boosted up by bots, you know? And it's now in front of all of our timelines, and it's now a talking point that we're all talking about, and it's just completely fake. So why do I think social media propaganda makes you depressed? Well, most people aren't going to go out of their way to look up any sort of topic. They're going to research anything, so... But that's okay. That's okay. As long as you decide to, you know, not speak about things that you know nothing about, really. And so if you're going to start talking about these complex issues and you haven't done any research, I think that's when you're going to start to absorb shit on social media. Your only information, the only way to gather information is going to be from other people around you, and that's when you're going to absorb the toxic, fucking terrible shit. The shit on social media fucks up their brain. It is just just meant to just make you depressed, meant to make you disillusioned. So I think this is why we see, you know, the fucking effects of this are, you know, people just being depressed as fuck, people that would be on the left that could, you know, help your party, they don't want to vote, and everything just goes to shit. And yeah, so, you know, I'm not that much of a fucking doomer, but, you know, hopefully got something out of this video. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for watching. You really listened to me just like rant, like basically unscripted for like 10 minutes, so appreciate that. Everything, all my sources, whatever, links to all my resources where I researched everything for this video, where I learned everything for this video. I'm gonna try to put as many links as possible to like good channels. Just check the fucking description. I'm gonna put so much shit in the description, just like resources, links. If you don't believe me on anything, I'll try to put stuff in the description that backs up literally everything I say. So yeah, if you hate me now and you hate everything I said, I hope you never watch me again, and please leave.